Hey, what's up? Steven here with NorCal Screen Print Supply. Today we have a video focused on some sleeve prints for our friends over at Truckee Speed Rods. We're gonna do a short run of hoodies here, and we're gonna run this sleeve print, and then we're gonna do a left chest print. We have some good tips that we're gonna sprinkle in throughout the video, so stick around, I think you'll like it. The first thing you want to do when you're running a sleeve print is to line up all of your hoodies and stack them in a way that will be easy for you to grab and put on the press. And you want to print the correct sleeve because it's really easy to print the wrong sleeve or have to stop every time and check which sleeve you're trying to print. I'm going to stack all these up so we're good to go. So some manufacturers are going to send you the hoodies individually folded. These are independent trading hoodies, style number. So we're going to unfold these all the way. I'm going to stack the smallest ones on top. So when I turn these back over, the small ones will be on top. I'm going to face them down. So I have smalls on the bottom, these are the mediums. So throughout my print run, even if I have multiple locations, I generally keep everything stacked like size. Makes me feel like I'm more organized as I go through the print run. And these have 2 locations, so we're gonna print the sleeve first, and then we're gonna print the left chest. And with a zip hoodie, the left chest is a little bit technical because your off contact can be affected by the zipper in the middle. We're using Printavo for this job, and you can see this first page here, we have all of our item breakdowns, sizes, etc. I love Printavo for this, and also because when you print out a work order using Printavo, it'll print out your mock-ups that you've created. And this is very handy to have during your print run because I can look here and see our hoodie. Our print is on our right sleeve and it is down reading. It starts with the S on top and reads down. It's very important to keep this in your mind as you go through the print run and set up your hoodies so that you can put them onto the platens so that you print it correctly, because as small business owner, screen printer, you have a million things going on in your head. You're thinking about the next job and who you have to follow up with and phone calls and emails you have to return. So every tool that you can utilize to keep yourself on track and minimizing mistakes is very useful to have. So Printavo is great for that, and these mock-ups are great for that. If you don't have Printavo, having this mock-up to refer to can be very useful, especially when you have a lot of jobs going on, you're very busy. We're going to go ahead and get production started. We've checked in all of our garments, we've stacked them, we've measured our print and where it's coming down. We have all of our sleeve platens set up on our Riley 250 here, and we're going to go ahead and start production. So we're going to make sure that our print is ending about 5 inches from the bottom of the sleeve. Sorry, 6 inches. I'm going to round up to 6 inches. It was about 5.5. So a lot of times what you can do before you burn your screen, you can size everything and measure it out and make sure your platens are in the right spot. Your sleeve's going to come to the end here. It doesn't have to. In this case, it just worked out that it did. So in order for that to happen, I have to measure the end of the platen to about 6 inches, and then I'm going to measure where that comes down on the screen, which is about 4 inches. So with the help of my friend the T-Square here, and I'm using a blank screen and lining it up, I know that I want the bottom of my print to end 6 inches before the end of the sleeve. So I'm going to align my sleeve so that it comes right to the edge of the platen, and then I know that I need to print my film about 4 inches from the edge of the screen. So another little trick here, or a little precaution you want to take, is to not have the screen clamp coming too close to the sleeve platen, because if you leave only 1/8 of an inch or you butt this up against it, it's going to pinch your hoodie in there. You'll see the way we load this. The hoodie is going to be with the neck right here and the sleeve facing out here. So when you bring this down, you do not want to pinch the hoodie into between the sleeve clamp and the platen. We have a few sleeve platens available on the website. This is the Riley Hopkins 4-inch aluminum platen, which is really nice to have. These aluminum platens won't warp. They stay nice and rigid. When you're using a slender platen like this, you do want to make sure that your imprint's going to fit on here. Our image is about 1 inch, maybe 1.25 inches, so we're good there. So I keep my work order with my mock-up right here so that I know I'm printing the right sleeve. So this side, I'm going to load it on that way. So I'm going to pull this all the way on, and I'm going to do my best to pull it to where it comes to the very edge of the platen, because that's how we've measured it out. So if you look closely here, you can see my sleeve is dangling on the floor. So after you put all these hoodies on and you rotate, you're going to print flash prints, it's going to rotate around twice. You really don't want to drag the end of the sleeve around the floor twice. So for that reason, we're going to pick this up and we're going to drape it right here. Be real careful not to get it caught. Be careful not to drape it over here into the registration gate, because it'll damage the hoodie. It's going to go right there. We're going to pull this nice and snug right here, and we're going to kind of smooth out this crease. You don't want any creases. I'm using quite a bit of adhesive on here, some spray adhesive on this. When you heat them up to dry the ink, the material tends to warp a little bit, and you really want to minimize that. Another thing that you also want to do is flash the hoodie before you print the first layer. When you heat it up first, it'll do any kind of warping, and then you lay the first layer of ink down. And when you hit it with the second layer, it's going to all line up. But if you print it first and then flash it, and it warps and changes, and your print will be out of registration and won't look good. Gonna pre-flash these for maybe 10-15 seconds at the most. These are small hoodies right here. We're starting with the smallest size. So I'm gonna flood this and print this. I got my off contact set so it's not touching the fabric. So I'm gonna flood it and print it a couple times, but you don't wanna do this more than you have to. You can see our off contact is pretty low, but I've cleared the ink through pretty well. So if we look at our screen mesh, all the ink has made it through, and we don't have any clogs or areas with ink still in them. Because if you do, you're generally gonna lift up your screen and you're gonna see the print won't look right if there's still ink in your screen. So we'll flash that one and print this one. I'm gonna make sure my flash dryer is kind of in the middle. I want the hottest part to be hitting this. And I wanna get this heated up to over 200 degrees for probably 6 to 8 seconds. So I can see it's 265, 315. That's kind of hotter than I really want it to be. And it's dry to the touch. The point of flashing the first layer of white is not to cure the ink, it's to get it dry to the touch so that when we lay down that second layer, it's gonna hit first layer and stick right to it, and it's gonna bring our print to life and make it pop and make it nice and bright. So this is dry to the touch. You see, we can generally not have to really flood it. Just bring a little ink over here and give it a nice, even, firm pressure. And it really makes our print much brighter. With t-shirts, I would take these off wet, but I'm gonna go ahead and flash through these. I got a short run, it's kind of worth it, so that when I pull them off the platens, I'm not risking getting wet ink onto any of the sleeve area. You try to pull this off wet after I print it right now. A lot of things can happen, like pull it and it springs off or comes unattached to the platen. The wet ink hits the hoodie up here. So I'm gonna carefully take this off. It's gonna go through our conveyor. I'm gonna lay it down. I'm gonna place our sleeve print so it is getting cured. So with hoodies, you generally have to apply adhesive pretty much every time. I'm using Top Bond Mist. I do like to use water-based adhesive for the most part, but I find when you're printing hoodies that the mist is really the way to go. All right, we got through the sleeve prints here. They're all looking pretty good. So we put our regular platens back on. We got our left chest here lined up, and we're gonna check placement, make sure it's good. And I've already put some spray adhesive on here. They're zip hoodies and the zipper is sticking up, that you don't put too much pressure and puncture the screen with the zipper. We're gonna pay special attention to that. Flood it this way. The reason why we're doing this, we don't want to pull the screen mesh. If we run the squeegee this way, stretching it over that, I would rather stretch the screen mesh the other way to keep it from getting blurred. We have good off contact, so you can't have this screen mesh laying on top of the hoodies. You really have to have it up above the hoodie. We're gonna print these two, and then we're gonna run them through the dryer and check placement and make sure they're looking good. We're gonna hold them up, and as we print through the bigger sizes, I usually will adjust my placement by moving the zipper over to my right. So I'll put the zipper on the right hand side of the center line, because on the bigger sizes, large and extra large, we really want to scoot the print over anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch on the extra large. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. We ran through these hooded sweatshirts. Got this left chest print looking pretty decent. Got the sleeve print looking good. With fleece, it's really important that you take your time because the garments are expensive. You don't want to mess them up. You have to replace one of these, 15 or 20 bucks. So yeah, take your time, have your work order, go over all your details. We use Printavo, and this is a really nice kind of work order that we can print out very easily from Printavo. And I use this a lot to check in the garments and to check them off when they're printed. If you have any questions questions about Printavo or about production or hoodies or screen printing or life in general, please get in touch with us. We do have everything here available on our website for sale. We do pre-burn screens, we do films. If you need help with any of that kind of stuff, we also sell equipment. We offer Riley Hopkins equipment. We have sleeve platens here that you saw earlier in the video. We'd love to set you up with a package if you need it, or if you need any help screen printing, let us know. At NorCal Screen Print Supply, that's what we're here for. Thanks a lot for watching, and keep on printing.